Hello Internet, welcome to the Nerd Sanctuary. This is Yami, and today we're looking at the new Aichi Sendou trial deck that's sort of with the reboot of the current Vanguard series. I'm actually pretty excited for this. And maybe later, if there's any interest for it, I'll do a comparison between the way the old cards look and the way the new cards look, effects and all that. But maybe later. Although for right now, I will just, after I open this, I'll show a picture comparison between old Blaster Blade and new Blaster Blade. But for now, let's get into the trial deck. And these things are taped, I forgot about that. Well, I'm using this deck, so I don't have to worry about keeping the box in good condition. Let's get this book out, too. And, yeah, as you can see here, focus camera. Let's see if I can. Yeah, all the triggers here are up to 10,000 benefit, which for draw triggers, that's actually a pretty big difference. As they use. Oh no, I'm thinking about draw triggers, defensive powers. They've always been at 5,000, but. All these getting beefed up like this is pretty good. Let's take a look at if there's any difference to the way the playmat looks opened up. Okay, it looks basically the same. I mean, let me try and close that a little better. Yeah, for the most part, it's all the same. It's nice to see that they're keeping the G-zone up here. Unless that's for the new mechanic, which I doubt. I haven't really looked too much into it. And we also got our first guide. Standard stuff. Gives us the rundown for new players. And, I have that out. Oh yeah, there's the back to these. It shows off, some of the different cards and, I guess, play styles, moves you can pull. Stuff like that. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get to the main part of this, the deck. And they actually have a pattern in the plastic here, which is kind of interesting. And the plastic is all one piece now. So that's interesting. I always love seeing a new deck. These things, just seem so nice. Alright. Ooh. Oh yeah, I forgot that we were getting two different arts for Blaster Blade. We got this one here that highly resembles the old art. In fact, here's the old art and here's the new art. They are basically the same. I mean, the only difference is there's a slightly different pose. But as far as artwork goes, it is almost exactly the same. The colors are a little brighter on the new one, I've noticed. That's pretty cool. But let's get to what this new Blaster Blade does. Let me readjust the camera again. If you have four, this is a continuous Vanguard skill. If you have 4 more rear guards, this unit gets a critical. And a Vanguard and rear guard skill that when this card's placed, you counterblast and soul blast 1. And choose one of your opponent's rear guards in the front row and retire it. I like how they got these new symbols for both counterblasting and soul blasting. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of adjustment since I'm used to the old looks. That's pretty cool. And, I like that we're getting 1, a full set of Blaster Blades for this deck. 2, that they got the different arts. This one actually reminds me a little bit more of a Blaster Blade Liberator or Seeker, maybe. I don't know. It definitely looks different. In fact, I think skin tone's different on this Blaster Blade a little bit. Just like how the Liberator's skin tone is different. I don't know. I'm going to look up a lot of the other Blaster Blade looks and see which one that one looks more like. But yeah, we got the 4 Blaster Blades in this deck. It's kind of hard to keep this camera focused properly. We have 3 of the new version of Alfred Early, which has the skill, the Vanguard skill, when placed, counterblast 1, call a blaster blade from your hand or soul to rear guard, and it gets plus 10,000 until the end of the turn. And if you called a card, draw a card. And I just noticed that he has a 13,000 base. That is a pretty good benefit. And they got this symbol here for the imaginary gift force. I am not 100% sure how the imaginary gifts work, but if my understanding is correct, as soon as you ride something with the imaginary gift ability, you get a benefit, and the benefit for force is like 2 spots to get a power bonus, I guess. I think that's what it is. Once I have a firm grasp on how this works, I'll probably do a video for those of you who are likewise confused about it. After that, we have 4 of the Star Drive Dragon with the rear guard skill that when it attacks a Vanguard, if you have 3 or more rear guards, it gets plus 5,000 till the end of the battle. Pretty basic. After that, we have 4 copies of Knight of Silence Galatine. It's an interesting art look. It has the 10,000 base attack and a 10,000 shield, which is pretty good since a lot of the old cards, almost all the old cards had a 5,000 shield unless they were trigger units or grade 0s. Moving on, we have 3 copies of Sage of the Arts Jauron with the skill that when it attacks a Vanguard, if you have 3 or more rear guards, this unit gets plus 5,000 to the end of the battle. And he has 5,000 shield, so it's pretty basic. His skill's not that great, so you can maybe replace him with something else that has a better skill. I mean, there are a lot of old cards that would work better. I mean, honestly, you can probably get some of these Swordsmen of Light grade 2, since they actually are designed to work with Alfred. And I don't know. I'm going to toy around with this a little bit afterwards. See what I can do with what I have. Then we have 3 copies of Wingdle with the skill that during your turn, all blaster blades in the same column as this unit gets plus 5,000 power. That is actually a sizable power bonus. I mean, the original Wingdle only had 6,000 power and only gave a 4,000 power boost. This one has 8,000 power with a 5,000 boost. It's a much better benefit. And if these guys are still using stride support, that is even better. Although, even if they don't, there's no reason we can't still use the old cards. I mean, really. After that, we have 3 Knight Squire Allen with the rear guard skill that when placed, counterblast 1, call a card with a grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from your hand. And if you call a card, draw a card, and this unit gets plus 3,000 power. Not bad. I think the original Allen was maybe a vanilla card, or maybe like a standard like plus 2,000. I'm not 100% sure, but moving on, we have 4 copies of Strong Knight Ruonoria. A lot of these names are hard to pronounce, but when placed, discard a card from your hand, and one of your units can't be hit. This is a standard perfect card with a different looking symbol. It's nice. It's not as different from the rest of the symbols as the old perfect cards were. After that, we have 3 copies of Auspice Falcon with the Counterblast 1 and Rest This Unit skill that 2 of your rear guards get plus 5,000 until the end of the turn. And we have our starter here, Lime, that when you ride on this card, draw a card. It's pretty basic. Like, this is really just them resetting everything. But as long as we can still use the old cards, we'll have a better deck within like a week, just from people using their old stuff and like mixing in well. We have 4 copies of Bringer of Good Luck Epona, who is a standard critical trigger. No effect, but it does have its guard brought up to 15,000. Meaning that even if you are still using stride units, they won't be super broken. And we have 4 copies of Floatle, who, as default, is now a critical trigger instead of the old stand trigger it used to be. Still no effect. 15,000 guard. Okay, this bums me out a bit. Martel's, like, as a draw trader, still has just the 5,000 shield. But, Martel has no ability now. That's kind of disappointing. The extra 10,000 power instead of 5,000 for a draw trader, that's pretty good. I'm conflicted on how I feel about Martel. Then we have 4 copies of Yggdrasil Maiden Elaine. 20,000 guard. The heal triggers really are better than all other triggers. And look at that. A holographic copy of Alfred Early, bringing our total copies of him up to 4. And I've already read his effect. Holographic copy of Alan, also. Hey, look at this. I guess these are our imaginary force cards. They all have the same thing written on them, looks like. But one of them has... Ooh, signed with Blaster Blade. Is this a special edition? Let me check. Gift markers. 2 normal, 1 unit gift. Place your cards. I think my signed Blaster Blade one is actually special. Like, how old Trial Decks used to have signed cards that were, like, super limited. And, if that is what this is, like, I'm going to check online to make sure, but if so, score. Major score. Like, super happy about this. Let me read what Imaginary Gift does, since this is our first exposure to it. I actually haven't been keeping up on the show too well, which bums me out a bit, but... Okay, Imaginary Gift Force. When acquired, put this marker on your Vanguard or Rearguard, and the unit on this circle gets 10,000 power during your turn. You may put it on the same circle. The power stacks. So I guess you get these one at a time, maybe, but you can say you got Alfred on your Vanguard circle, and you put the gift on him. If you get, like, during your turn, his power will be up by 10,000, bring it to 23,000. And if at some point you get another imaginary gift, you can also put that on Alfred, which during your turn will have him boosted up to 33,000. Pretty good. I am actually still super happy about my signed Blaster Blade imaginary gift. Alright, check it. Like, I didn't think I'd recognize anything because I don't read Japanese, but if you look down here in the corner of the signature, there's a little picture of Aichi, like a little doodle. It's pretty cool. I'm actually pretty happy. Like, I'm a huge fan of the original Vanguard, so seeing these guys like this, it's a dream come true. Like, going back to basics, it grew on me, the other gameplay styles, but I never really liked them adding new stuff. It kind of felt like the way Yu-Gi-Oh! Went, with always building better stuff that outclassed everything they did. But that's it for the Aichi trial deck with Imaginary Gift. I'm actually pretty happy about this. I'm probably going to do just a little like retrospective comparison video later where I show the original Aichi starter deck in comparison to this one. Well, I guess the original one was called Blaster Blade, but it's the same thing. But, look forward to that, guys. And if you like what you see in this video, like, comment, subscribe, check out other stuff. This is mainly a Vanguard and video game YouTube channel. But I'll see you guys later.